Alright everybody, welcome back to the next lesson. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about strings, and in this lesson we're going to focus specifically on combining strings together in Python. So let's start off here by creating a simple variable. I'm going to call it strings just to use it as an example, and we're going to make this strings variable this string here. So we'll say something like let's combine some strings together. And you'll see here that we're using the plus operator to combine these two strings as one. And what this is do is it's going to take these two strings and basically just combine them together, and then that's going to be stored in the variable strings. And we can print the variable here, so let's go print strings, and we can see the example will be printed to the terminal. We hit play, let's combine some strings together. And you'll notice that the two strings don't have any spacing, they're just kind of wedged together here. You can kind of fix this by either putting a space at the end of strings here or a space at the beginning of together, whichever one you like. So add a little space here, and then we'll hit play again. You can see that they're now spaced across, and it looks pretty good. So that's basically in a nutshell how you combine strings in Python. It's not too complicated, but it does take a little bit of practice. And if you really want to get technical, you can actually here we do an example of how you might add like lots of strings together. So this is just kind of practice here, but you could do something like this is, and you can add every little string here. So this is an example of me combining multiple strings together with Python, and there's easier ways to do this, and we'll talk about this in the future. But again, I just want you guys to kind of practice this. So try this out for yourself, and you can kind of see how combining strings work. And yes, we'll kind of end it up here, and you can see here, if we take this variable and then stick it in here, let's go more strings, then we hit play, you can see that it wedges all the strings together with no spacing, of course. So again, you can add some spacing in here. So we'll add a space at the beginning of each one, and that'll add a little bit of space between our strings. So that's a little bit more of a better example of how you can combine strings with Python. Now I showed you how to use the plus operator to combine strings. There's actually an easier way to do it, although it seems a little bit more complicated, especially to beginners. And this is something that you don't have to use right away, but you'll see more experienced Python developers and just programmers in general use this method, and this is the plus equals operator. And I'm going to explain this in just a second here, so it's going to look a little bit confusing. So first of all, let's make a new example here of how we might add my first name, Robin, here. And let's make another variable here. So we're using the same variable, and we're adding Robin to, or Haney to Robin here. So Robin plus Haney, and that'll be my name. And this is how I already showed you guys how to do this. And what will happen here is if we print my name, it'll print my name to the terminal. Robin plus Haney, right? Put a little space there, and then we hit play. We can see Robin Haney. Now that looks good. Now when you're using a lot of strings together, there's a kind of a easier shorthand to use it, and it's basically, it looks complicated, but it's just writing less code in the end. So we'll go my name too, which is the exact same example of Robin, and instead of going to Robin plus Haney, what we'll do is my name too equals plus equals, and then we'll go Haney. Basically what this does is this says we're going to add Haney to the end of my name too. It's the same thing, it's just written a little bit different. A little bit less code writing overall. You see we're not repeating the Robin part, we're just putting the Haney part. So this is a way that more experienced developers will add strings and things together in Python, and you don't have to really use it right away, but just try to work with it because you'll see it a lot in the future. So again, if we hit play, I'm going to put the new variable in here. You can see it has the exact same final result. It's adding Haney to the end of the string Robin. So that's a little bit more of a complicated way, and again, you don't have to know that right off the hop, but just kind of get used to it. You will see it around as you work with Python, so it's a good way to practice. So that's pretty much it for combining strings with Python. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, be sure to let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching everybody, and I'll see you in the next lecture when you're ready to move on.